What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin halving as well as semiconductor stocks, right? So if we take a look at the Bitcoin halving, it just happened, right, about 1 or 2 hours ago, and we can see a slight pullback in price, right? So let's go through a small recap. Basically, this red wick was when Israel launched a counter-attack against Iran, right? And it pulled back, everything was down, and then it bounced. And this is quite a huge bounce, right? It's 10% in 12 hours, right? So that's a lot of volatility in Bitcoin right now. But what I think the halving has, the effect on price action, I don't think it's going to be as positive as people think, right? Because you can see that all the ETFs are out. So the demand there is constant. All the hype with the halving is kind of baked into the cake. This is by far the most hyped halving I've ever seen, right? So I think there's a quite decent probability that Bitcoin will pull back to 50k before hitting all-time highs, or maybe it might not even hit all-time highs if the US has like a huge recession, right? And then maybe we'll go back to 30k or something like that, right? I think it's possible. And in fact, if it did go back to 30k or 20k, I'll be a buyer, right? So I think near term, the sentiment is quite frothy, and I would warrant caution if I were buying right now. If you're already in at like 50k, then sure, whatever, let it ride or whatever you want to do, right? It's your position after all. So next, we're going to be talking about semi stocks, right? So why are semi stocks so important? Because we know this AI hype has been carrying the whole market up, right? So I think if the semi bubble is popping, that would be a good time to pay attention, right? So let's take a look at SMCI. This is the first one to talk about. You can see that it's down 23% today, right? And that's a stunning fall, right? On no news, right? So what happened with SMCI is basically that the company didn't come out and pre-announce their profit and loss numbers, profit or loss numbers. Basically, they didn't pre-announce their earnings, and in the past 7 out of 8 earnings call, they did that, right? So investors are anticipating that it's going to be a bad earnings, right? So that's why they sold off the stock, right? Is it an overreaction? I'm not sure, because the whole semi sector has been so frothy in the past at least 2 years, right? That I would say that it borderline hit a bubble. So I'm not too sure whether this is an overreaction or this is like a normal justified reaction, right? Because it's not like they came out and said, oh, our profit numbers are down 200% year over year. But what I do want to say about SMCI is this was a very painful stock for me, right? Because I actually had some put options on SMCI, but I sold it because you can see that there was this candle, right? And there was this slight bounce, right? And it was all the way up to 965. So I was kind of like in a small profit on the put position, and I was just using the put position to kind of speculate, right? If it was to hedge my portfolio, I would have held on tighter to it, right? But it wasn't really to hedge my portfolio, right? It was more of a speculative bet. So the options are now 8 times the price, or 8.5 times the price that I sold it at, and that really hurts, right? Okay, maybe it's not that much, maybe it's like 7 times or something. Still hurts. But I would like to caution against looking at like exactly what happened and then saying, oh, I should have done this, because this is all hindsight bias, right? Obviously, I regret selling the put options, especially here, because actually I wanted to hold on to it, and I was kind of willing to hold on to it, but because of this bounce, and then I was thinking, oh, I want to go to sleep, right? And I don't want to wake up in a loss tomorrow, right? So I went to sleep, and then basically I woke up and this happened, right? Not really I woke up, because my time and US time is like opposite, right? So basically this was the market open, right? So I didn't have the chance to buy back into the position, right? And then it was down like 8% at market open. So I really wasn't into chasing those numbers, right? And if I didn't sell it overnight, I would have probably sold it at this 831 level, which is like still quite a significant move. Maybe that was like a 4x, and now it's a 7 or 7.5x, right? So that hurts definitely. And to add insult to injury, I actually sold my ARM options that I was using to hedge my portfolio at 100, and I think it was like 106. So you can see I missed out on like a 17% move, which hurts, but I could have never predicted that the moves were going to be so insane, right? So if we take a look at ARM, and I can tell you, I sold it for technical reasons, and well, technicals didn't help me today. So I sold it here, somewhere here. Yeah, almost exactly here. Well, I guess the bright side of it all is that I actually made money on both of it, right? It's not like I lost a huge amount of money on both of it, but obviously it sucks, right? Because ARM options are like double of what it is, and the SMCI options are like 8 times of what it was, right? If you're enjoying the video so far, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and then hit all, right? So that will really help out the channel, and I do really appreciate it. So we move on, right? So we take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia is down like 14% in the past 5 days, right? And why is this significant for the entire market? Because Nvidia obviously has been leading the charge up, right? Into bubble territory, right? And I think this should be a very warm welcome to investors, right? You should be very happy to see things like this, because if you're an Nvidia investor, right, maybe you get the chance to buy this pullback. If you're an investor in other stocks, right, all this will move the whole market down. And we know that the market valuations have been quite frothy for most things in the market right now, right? So as for the whole semi sector, why is it moving down? You can take a look at the TSMC. Actually, it's down what, 15% in the past 5 days, and you take a look at ASML, it's down 10%, right? And this is because their order backlogs are actually drying up, right? So the semis might not carry the stocks up to all-time highs again, right? So I think this is I think you can say that the semiconductor bubble has popped, and currently it's maybe reverting to normal. Even at this kind of pricing, ARM's stock is actually heavily overvalued, right? But I would not be very happy to jump into a put position or a short position after this, right? Because you can see the initial move has already been made, right? So even if you go into a put option position, maybe it takes a long time, maybe it just goes sideways, and then you lose all your money, right? So we do have to be vigilant when we do these things, right? And especially we have to be vigilant when you're buying somewhere here, right? Because people at this point were like, oh my god, ARM is up like what, 50% in a day, and then the next day is down 6%, and then it's up I think another like 20% here, and a lot of people were FOMOing into this, right? And the fundamentals definitely did not justify it, right? But I think this video was more based on this, like I actually just wanted to talk about like losing so much potential gains and how I'm feeling about it. And yesterday night, I can tell you, I definitely lost some sleep over it, right? But I think things like this will happen. I think there will be bigger numbers in the future that I miss out. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much over it, because at the end of the day, it's still risk management. And maybe I'm just coping, but I need the copium right now, I guess, because, you know, after a potential gain that you lose like that, I don't know, you just need something to calm yourself down, right? So actually why it hurts so much is not only one reason that you miss out on the potential gains, right? Because it's not like I was going to make that money and then draw it out and spend it on my living expenses, right? It's because that you miss the move, and then because the money that you get from that, the proceeds that you get from that, you can use to buy more shares and all of that, right? Especially when the market is moving down and you have put options. So yeah, we live and we learn. I would not be very tempted to go like huge on options positions, right? Even though you can see that this, you can 8x your money in one day. Oh my god, it's so crazy. Not 8x in one day, but basically it was like 6x in one day. Or you can do something like that, because most of the time the options are just going to expire worthless, and you're going to lose a lot of money, right? And if you have a lot of money in an options position, right, you will not be able to sleep, right? And let's say if you have 1 or 2% of your portfolio, right, and this turns into 8% of your portfolio, bravo, you've gained so much, right? But let's say you put 50% of your portfolio as some Wall Street bettors do, right? And then it goes up. Okay, just imagine it goes up. Then what will you be incentivized to do? You'll be incentivized to even like gamble heavier like this, right? Nobody just walks out after a 10x and just be like, oh, I'm going to stop forever, right? Nobody can do that. So if you use it to hedge your portfolio, I would say it's a much better use of the options, but to each their own, right? If you want to gamble on options, it's up to you, right? Because you won't even be able to hold the options until the price action materializes, right? Let's say you bought an option here, it goes down here, you're probably up like, if you're buying short-term options, you're probably up like 50-60%. And then it goes back to flat. Then how would you feel? It's like you had 50% profits on your whole portfolio and it's back to even now. Now, are you like scared to lose the money? Then if you're scared to lose the money, you'll miss out on this huge 25% drop, which would have like 10x your portfolio. What kind of psychological framework would it put your mind into? That's a few things that you have to think about, right? So I do appreciate everyone that has watched up to this video, and I have a special announcement to make, right? I'll actually be coming back to making more YouTube videos. My target is about twice a week, so 2 videos a week. But it depends on whether there's anything to make videos on, right? I don't want to make videos if there's no value to the audience, right? Just wasting your time, right? Oh, Tesla stock moved down 2%. Why is it moving down 2%? This is like utter nonsense. It's wasting my audience's time, right? So that's about all I wanted to share. If you did enjoy the video, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell button. With that being said, have a fantastic day ahead, and peace out.